React-19 introduces the useOptimistic hook to simplify handling optimistic UI updates in React applications. This hook enhances user experience by displaying a temporary, optimistic state change during asynchronous actions like network requests. This provides immediate feedback to the user even before the actual data is received from the server. This approach not only enhances performance but also significantly improves the overall user experience. useOptimistic allows you to work with a temporary version of the state created from the original one while an asynchronous action such as a network request is happening. Let's see how useOptimistic works in action. I'll show you a simple chat interface. When you click the send button, sending message will appear in the chat for a few seconds even before the server confirms its delivery. To better understand how this hook helps to achieve this output, let's start by exploring its syntax. We begin with the state, so it is the initial state value. It will manage using useOptimistic. It can be any type of data structure, but it's commonly an array or object representing the starting point for optimistic updates. Then we have the update function. This function defines how to update the optimistic state based on the current state and new value. It receives two arguments. One is current optimistic state. This argument represents the current state value managed by useOptimistic. It will be the same value provided as an initial state or the updated state from previous calls to update function. And the other is new value. This argument represents the new value you want to use for the optimistic update. Its type should match the type of elements in your initial state. And the useOptimistic hook returns an array containing two elements. Here is the first one, optimistic state. This is the current optimistic state value managed by useOptimistic. It reflects the latest updates applied by the update function. And the second one is update optimistic state. Now this is a function you can call to manually update the optimistic state. While not always necessary, it provides a way to trigger updates outside of the typical update function behavior. Let's discuss the working of the useOptimistic hook by this code snippet. We will create a separate state variable to hold our chat messages. We will then pass this state to the useOptimistic hook. And inside the function provided to useOptimistic, often called the action, will perform the optimistic update. This means we'll temporarily add the new message to the state while we wait for the server's confirmation. Once the server responds, we can replace the temporary client-side state with the updated state received from the server. This is how the useOptimistic hook allows us to achieve the desired chat behavior, that is, displaying the message immediately while we wait for server confirmation. The useOptimistic minimizes UI latency and provides instantaneous feedback. It will elevate the overall user experience, resulting in higher user engagement and satisfaction. The useOptimistic hook is a game changer for developers, enabling smoother and more responsive user experiences, especially in e-commerce and social media applications.